Pre-cal, last video for geometric sequences. So here we're given a geometric sequence. Notice this time that it has alternating signs. So that will give us a hint as to what our R is. And if we want to find the 12th term, and then we also want to find the sum of the first 12 terms, we're going to be using the sum of a geometric sequence formula here. But first, let's find the 12th term. So to do this, we need to either expand it out or go ahead and just apply what we've already learned and find the general term. So let's just find the general term. So to get from 2 to -6 and from -6 to +18, it's going to have a common ratio of -3. So that's what we're going to be multiplying by. And of course, a sub 1 is equal to 2. So if we know a sub 1 and we know r, we can easily write a sub n, which will be a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. So a sub n equals 2 times -3 to the n minus 1. Just a reminder here, in order for us to use our calculator, very important that this is inside of the parentheses there. So let's find a sub 12 and think about it. This is going to be a pretty substantial number. So maybe positive, maybe negative. I think it's going to be negative. So a sub 12, that's going to be 2 times -3, and then 12 minus 1 is 11. Going to be negative because we're about to raise a negative base to the 11th power, which that's a big number. So here we go. And also, if you are putting it in the calculator, put it in parentheses because the calculator always follows order of operations perfectly. So this is 2 times that number, which I'll just write it to be real thorough here, and then double that. And there's our a sub 12, -3, 5, 4, 2, 9, 4. So there's a sub 12. So we need a sub 12 because our formula for the sum of a geometric sequence, and I'll just write this in so I can move the camera back down. There we go. So there's our a sub 12. So our sum formula is S sub n, and this is right on our Google site, and yes, you should have it in your notes. So S sub n equals a sub 1 minus a sub 1 times r to the nth. So basically, this is giving us our term, and then we're dividing by 1 minus r. So S sub 12 is going to be a sub 1, which is 2, minus, and I'll put this in brackets there just to protect it. So 2 times r of course is -3, -3 raised to the 12th, and this is 1 minus r. Excuse me, 1 minus -3, because we know r. All right, so this is what we've got. Let's follow order of operations and simplify this just a bit. So 2 minus, and then 2 times. I will leave that there because I don't want to have to write that number out. 1 minus -3, of course, is 4. So I'm just going to go straight for the calculator since this is a messy number. So I'm going to go for alpha F1 here, get a nice fraction set up. 2 minus parentheses 2 times -3 raised to the 12th power. Very important for parentheses here because this is an even power. And then 2 sets of parentheses are open, so be sure to get closed. So open, open, close, close. That's good. Go down to the bottom, over 4 gives us our answer. So actually I'll put it right back up here. The sum of the first 12 terms, -265,720. Now, let's check this because you're like, wow, this is a bigger number than that. Now think about why that would be so. It should be that because if the signs are alternating, then a sub 11 would have been a very, very large positive number. That's why that sum is going to be substantially larger than a sub 12. So another way that you could also do this, because we know a sub n, is we could just use sigma notation. Of course, sigma notation is alpha f2 on our calculators. And being that we want the sum of the first 12 terms, so the lower limit will be 1, the upper limit will be 12, and then we just need to put in the rule. So that's going to be 2 times negative 3 raised to the x minus 1. And then we are open, open, close, close, and enter. And what do you know? We get exactly the same thing. So two different formulas. This formula will allow us to calculate it, and the summation notation also yields the same thing. So there you go. Finding the sum of a geometric sequence with a specified number of terms.